everyone, it's actoutgames.com here, and today we're going to be talking about a subject that was sort of the panel that my dad was on at Vidcon this year.
Close.
Which was, my kid wants to start a YouTube channel, help, what do I do?
Yeah. So the panel kind of turned into a little bit of a different thing. It was largely that, but it was a little bit different. But more, this comes from one of the Facebook groups that we're part of. We're members of a few different groups, like some are with YouTubers and some are with homeschoolers and like different communities. And I think it was on one of the homeschool groups, people were sort of saying, hey, my kid wants to start posting videos on YouTube and doing Let's Plays and stuff like that. Like, how do I get started and what do I do? Okay. And so I jumped in and started offering some advice. And everybody was kind of asking questions and putting things together. And I said, well, we'll just make a video about it. I mean, that sounds like a good thing to talk about anyway. Yeah. We've been doing it for a while now, so we can talk a little bit about it. So this video...
Oh, professional.
I wouldn't go that far. This video is going to be like a super high level overview of kind of think about kinds of things. Yes. But if you guys want to see more of this and you want specific advice, you can ask questions down in the comments.
Press the subscribe button.
What I was thinking we could do is we could do a couple of different levels, like just getting started. We could show you like what we did when we first started off and what most people we know, kind of what they're doing, and then a little bit more of like a moderate level and then a little bit of a higher level as you buy more equipment and do more things with animation and all those kinds of things, right? And I was thinking even it might be a good idea to, we could do a video making a video. Like a making behind the meta, like behind the scenes, right? So if we sat down and did like a Let's Play, or if we sat down and did a video like this, we could shoot how we shoot this, and then a little bit of how we edit it, and how we make a cover shot for it, and like all of the ins and outs of how we make one of these videos, step by step, and then post that as instructions. So one for a Let's Play, one for a sit-down vlog like this, one for one of our educational videos that's a little more structured.
One for a vlog.
One for a vlog. Like you just kind of show kind of how we do, like in detail, so that you can kind of follow along and see what we're doing, right?
Yes.
So if you're interested in seeing those videos, let us know and we'll make those videos sort of independently. But this we're just going to talk real high level, right?
Yes.
So I wrote a couple of notes. We just thought about this the other day.
Yes.
But I got a couple of notes and you can chime in with what your thoughts are on how kind of we get started, right? So my first thing that I wanted to point out was that the type of equipment you'll need and how you set these things up is going to vary a lot based on the type of YouTube videos you want to make. Yeah. Right? So if you're making Let's Plays, which is like recording yourself playing a video game and talking about it. Yeah. Like that's one level of equipment you need. Really there, we use a software called Bandicam.
Oh, I was picking up the webcam. We do use Bandicam.
We do. So I was going to say, like you can record like screen capture with Bandicam and just record yourself playing the video game and talking and not show yourself on camera at all. So that's one of your options for security as well if you don't want to be on camera or you don't want your kid to be on camera.
That's what a lot of Let's Players actually do so that you can see the game.
See the whole game, right? Yeah. Lots of people though, and what we do, we just shot one a couple of days ago, so we'll post a little snippet of us playing Overwatch.
Please watch that. I edited that myself and I'm really proud of it.
For us to do that one ourselves. So we'll post a little snippet of that here so you can see what it looks like when we're playing. So you have the screen capture, which was Bandicam, and then you have up in the corner our faces, and that's just on this little webcam. So any kind of webcam.
Bird attached to it anymore.
We have the
phone bird attached to it.
If you have a laptop, you can just use the webcam that's built into your laptop, but it may, like your horsepower for being able to play a game and screen capture and run a webcam.
What if you're playing like Club Penguin?
Club Penguin might work, but it takes a little bit of extra power. It takes a little extra horsepower to do all of those things at once, right? Yeah. So, and when we finish this, we'll go upstairs and we'll just take a quick shot of what it looks like when we're sitting there doing a Let's Play. So we'll play Overwatch again, but we'll set it up so you can see we're screen capturing here and we're watching ourselves on video here. And we got a microphone that we're talking into, so you can see what that looks like when we're doing that. Because it seemed like most people were kind of talking about that, right? So if that's what you want to do, that's really all you need, right? Yeah. You don't need much more. You need a screen capture software and maybe a webcam. We'll get to editing in a minute. Okay, right? That's important. Yeah, of course. You have to be able to edit. You may, if you want to capture video off a console, like a PlayStation or an Xbox, you'll need a video capture card, like a HAL page is the one that everybody uses and loves.
We've never filmed off of a console before.
Yeah, it's been a really long time since we've used one of those things.
Used one of those things?
Yeah, well, we've used video capture cards for other things in the past.
Oh, okay.
They do the same thing.
I've never used
So that is for, what we do, Bandicam, is capturing games that you're playing on your computer. Yeah. But if you want to capture off a console, you'll need a video capture card.
We just play PC.
And you can look at HAL page. I'll put a link in the description to where you can, what kind of a card you need to be able to do that. Yeah? Yes. The other one that I've got on here is like vlogs. So for vlogs, you need a camera to shoot, and this
is a great starting camera.
Yeah, almost everybody.
Not this specific phone.
Well, this is actually this is pretty great.
Yeah, that one's really good. Yeah. But your phone, and then you can, here, we're going to do some here.
Here, we'll actually shoot a little video while we're shooting video.
Wow, whoa, it just
so
zoomed in.
we'll cut to this one for a second so you can see. This is the phone. Hi there.
Hi, phone.
How's it going?
There's a little bit of the outside world. We have to cover it up.
Almost everybody starts with a phone. We started with a phone. You can get really good picture, pretty good audio out of them, and all you need is this for your camera, right? And that's for vlogging, walking around talking. You have it in your pocket all the time, so you can take it out and shoot video whenever you want. Yeah.
And I believe YouTube has editing software for the phone.
I'm not recommending you use YouTube's editing software. Yeah. We'll talk about editing software in a minute still.
If you are desperate for an editing software,
don't worry about editing software. That's coming. So I would say this is your first camera.
Yeah.
And microphone.
Definitely.
And you can start here and you can talk. They even make little tripods that are specially for holding phones.
Those are really nice.
They are.
We've
gone through many of those. We bought one of the first iPole. What are they called? Selfie stick kind of things long ago.
It's called an iPole.
It's called an iPole for your iPhone.
And I'm really salty that everyone stole the idea.
But yeah, so we use those. There's tripods that hold it. You can set it on your desk and you can talk. You don't need anything more than this. You download it to your computer and then you edit it and upload it, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Next step up, we love Canon cameras.
Yes.
We're big fans of Canons.
This one doesn't zoom because we got sand in it.
Yeah, the camera does. This particular one doesn't because it's broken.
The zoom doesn't.
Right. So these are Canon PowerShots.
Yes.
I think these are probably your best little vloggy camera.
I know, these were so great, especially when they zoomed.
Yeah, we love these, right?
Yeah.
The one thing you might want to pay attention to is this is an older model. So if you're doing vlogging, you may want one where the screen flips out so you can see yourself.
Where is that?
That's one of the reasons that holding your phone is really great because you can see if you're in frame.
A lot of my vlogs, I'm gonna get some footage on this thing, are like, I don't know, this. And I'm like, hi everyone,
it's
me, I'm here.
Until you get used to pointing a camera at yourself and pointing it correctly at yourself, it's good to have a screen that tells you. So they even have these little PowerShots now with a little flip up screen so you can see yourself.
Nice.
Love the PowerShots. Next step would be like a DSLR.
It's kind of big. We have a really big lens on it right now, so.
Yeah, this is kind of big. But we shot with this for a long time. We really love this. If we're shooting higher quality stuff, we'll put this on a tripod. Our current DSLR is what we're shooting with right now.
Yes.
So that's where you are. Here, I'll shoot with my phone for a second.
So you can
see what we see. There's Mommy. Hi, Mommy. You want to wave? So there's our camera. And then you can see some of our lighting equipment out here. So we can talk about lighting later if you want to talk about lighting your stuff better. And then you can kind of see in there, let me zoom, that microphone right there. So that is a huge upgrade.
Rode.
So that's the Rode Video Mic Pro, and that makes a huge difference in the quality of your audio kind of sitting on top. Like that's sort of a progression, I think, of how you can go if you're doing vlogs. You can start with a webcam even, like on your laptop and talk to your laptop. You can shoot with your phone. PowerShots, they're not too expensive. These guys start getting more expensive, but they're better quality, and then going to external audio I think is really good from a technical standpoint. Okay, let's talk really quickly. We're just going to go long again. Let's talk about editing. So when you start off editing, there are 2 free software editing packages. If you're on a Mac, you get iMovie.
Yes.
That's free.
You said you liked iMovie a lot.
I do like iMovie. It does almost everything you need. It's pretty good. It's still basic, but it does a lot of really good stuff. On PC,
Windows Movie Maker.
Windows Movie Maker.
Oh, and just so you know, yes, it's free. It's called Movie Maker, not Windows Movie Maker. I always search for Windows and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, Movie Maker. So that's the free editing software over there, and you can use it. And again, you can get started. You can do a ton of what you want.
I attempted to use that for a little bit, and then I ended up just nope. We got Premiere.
It's not too bad. So yeah, again, the step up from there, I would recommend either Adobe Premiere or Sony Vegas. Those are kind of the 2 really hot ones right now. There is Final Cut on Mac, but it's kind of, in my opinion, has gone downhill in the past several releases, and people tend to not be using that as much anymore.
Premiere is what
we use Adobe Premiere.
Yes, it is real good. And it's actually a lot simpler than I expected it to be, because when I first went into it, I'm like, I don't know what to do.
There are tons of tutorials out there.
Yes.
You can get, my recommendation is the Adobe Creative Cloud.
Yes,
so you get all of the Adobe software. You get like Photoshop and After Effects and Premiere and Flash, and like you can do animations. And you can do photo editing, Photoshop. Did I say that? Illustrator. Everything Adobe makes, right? And if you have a student, like a homeschool kid, like Presley is, $20 a month for all of that stuff, and it's really fantastic. Totally recommend that. So that's what we use to do our editing still, and we'll probably use forever. Yes. That's a professional grade editing software.
It's really nice. You can do, while you look at your notes, you can do pretty much anything with it. And I edited my Overwatch video, which is like 20 minutes long. Yeah. And It only actually took, like, I don't know, I'd say like about an hour.
Yeah, when you get comfortable with it, you can do it pretty quick.
I'm not, by the way, I'm not comfortable with it.
Right.
So it took me about an hour to edit that video, which has tons of like keyframes and titles.
Yeah.
And clip arts. Fancy.
Yeah, so Presley was definitely doing some playing around. So audio we talked about, so you'll start with just your phone or your webcam or your camera's audio. When you want to get a little bit better, this Rode Video Mic Pro, we really love that thing.
Yes.
If we're shooting with some of our educational videos, which is kind of another style, so you've got your Let's Plays that we talked about, just shooting a vlog where you're sitting and talking like we're doing now, kind of. And then if you're doing something a little more production value, we'll put in a little clip here for our bite-sized EDU channel, which is more educational stuff that's more scripted and in a set and those kinds of things. We have these little wireless lavaliers that we put on. Yep, lavs. So that's what we put on Presley. When you look at the bite-sized videos, you'll see us using these little microphones here, so that's even better. We have a handheld microphone that we use if we're at cons and it's really loud.
And then we have another bubble.
There's a little recording
balloon
device that we use that's called the Zoom H1. Again, I'll put a link down in the doobly-doo. The Zoom H1 lets you record good audio. Right? That's what we use sometimes. If we're not using the actual microphone, we use the Zoom H1. Yeah,
we use the Zoom H1. That's what at least we've recently.
So that's a really good piece of equipment. So let's wrap up on equipment. So that's just a survey of equipment. If you want us to go into more detail on how we set this stuff up and what we use or what you should use starting out, and as you move up, we can do that. Yeah. Let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about, which is safety.
Safety.
What are some ideas for kids to be safe with a YouTube channel? What are some things people do?
Some things that people do, and I have experience because this is sort of what we did when we started our channel, and I have friends that are starting channels, so I've just been like throwing out, this is how to be safe, this is how to do all this stuff well. Don't use your real name. Don't make your channel name your real name. Yeah. Because I've noticed a lot of people do that. Yeah. And it just ends up like people now know your real name.
So you'll find that this is always a balancing act, right? So people, this is probably as much my opinion as anything else, but people tend to connect better with faces and with names.
Yes.
They feel like they know you better. And so if you're using like a pseudonym, or if you do what's called a DBA, doing business as, you can actually file paperwork and be able to do business as and get paid and take checks and stuff like that under a certain name. So people have a name, it doesn't have to be your real name.
Kind of like a pen name.
Like a pen name, that's exactly right.
Because I have like some spooky secret names I go by, wow.
Yeah.
And just like coming up with something super simple. It can be like your favorite gemstone or your favorite animal or something like that.
Whatever, you can come up with a name and you can use a fake name. So, but people still have a name to call you, and so they connect with you better.
Yes, and then again, it depends on what kind of vlog or what kind of video you're doing. Yep. But if you're doing a video where it's optional, like a let's play, and you want
or toy reviews or things like that,
and you want to have like extra privacy, don't show your face. People do connect with faces better.
But there are huge channels, enormous channels out there where you just see people's hands and they're talking about the thing they're reviewing
or just
and
their
stuff.
game.
So if you don't want to show your kid's face on YouTube, you don't have to.
Yes.
We've got don't shoot the exterior of your house.
Yeah.
People can use, like if they know kind of where you live, people can use like Google Street View and look for houses that look like your house if you've shot your house.
Yeah.
So there are people that we know that won't shoot within a mile of their house or something. They have rules of thumb that they won't shoot
unless
around.
It's inside their house.
Inside. Some people shoot inside, some people don't. But some people will say, look, I just don't shoot within a mile of my house because I don't want people to know where I am. That's a pretty good one. Don't talk about where you live too specifically.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
Town is probably okay if you want, but you don't even have to say that if you don't want to.
Country.
Yep. This was a big one for me, though, from the stuff that I see. Like, don't let your kids do everything themselves, right? So
there's an age limit. You have to be 13 to own the channel.
You have to be 13 to have a YouTube channel at all. Whenever Presley makes videos herself, she'll do a thing all by herself, but we have to see it before she uploads it. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have the rights to upload. She's not allowed to upload. We have to watch it and do that.
Yes.
And we moderate the comments in the same way. Like, she doesn't look at the comments by herself. We do that as a family and do those kinds of things. And you can actually disable comments if you want.
Yes.
And there's also in YouTube,
a blacklist.
Yeah, there's a blacklist of words. And so you can say, if this word shows up in a comment, hide that comment, don't show it at all, and you can build that list as big as you wanted to. There are shared lists out there that you can get from people who have built these enormous lists. You can also block users from your channel.
It's one of the worst.
Our block list is huge. Like, we're pretty liberal with dropping the ban hammer on people.
Yeah, so there's such a big block list. But yeah, definitely build up a blacklist of things that you don't want showing.
And probably go get one. Like, go get a blacklist to start with, because so you don't have to think of a bunch of things that other people have done. Yeah. And then add in stuff that's specific to you. You don't want your kids hearing about or seeing. Add in, like, your contact information, like your address or even your city if you don't want that on there. And that way, if someone does try and post your address or your city or something like that, it'll get blocked out. Yes. That's a pretty good technique to do to keep some privacy.
And don't just think about what you want your kids to not see. Also put things that you don't want to show up in the comments for people watching.
Yeah, like, you want like healthy community and stuff. So there, yes. Yeah. Even if you're okay with it, some other people that you want to build a community with might not be. So I mean, that's pretty deep getting into the YouTube space, right? Okay. And same with like the last little section here, I got like business questions, like whether you should form a corporation. Are you enabling ads on your YouTube channel to try and make revenue off of it? Like all of that stuff, like.
We'll tell us
if you want to hear about that, and we'll talk about it because that's really inside baseball too.
Names real quick.
Yeah, let's go back up to this thing. Like things, if you're going to start a channel, yes. One of the most important things that we learned after the fact is
you need to have a channel name that will stick. Like we were saying, don't really use your real name, and don't do like
and don't use specific real examples.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not using real examples.
Okay.
Don't like have your name be Princess Girl 69234567. That won't stick. People.
Yeah. So something that's easy. You want something easy to remember. But if like, be careful if your kid is really young. Like Presley started when, how old were you? 7? I guess 6 was our first video. 7 is when you started the daily.
Yeah.
But like, if you name the channel something that's specific to your 6 or 7-year-old kid, and that kid it goes to college and stays doing YouTube, and suddenly the kid's 18 years old or 20 years old and carrying on a YouTube channel, but their channel is called Baby Princess Toys. Whatever, right? Then that's probably not what they're doing anymore when they're 20, hopefully, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Some people do. That's fine.
That's fine.
Whatever you want to do. I'm not making any judgments about that.
But that's probably not.
But like, your kid may change over the years and wants to keep their YouTube channel, so you need a generic enough name that it will carry with them, and they can do different types of content and things. Same thing with content. Like if you really paint yourself into a content corner and people expect a certain kind of content out of you, then when your kid gets tired of doing those things and wants to change and do something else, it can be kind of hard to make that shift. Mm-hmm. So again, you're very lucky if you get to where you have that problem, that you've become popular doing one kind of thing and you're thinking about doing another thing. Like that you're pretty lucky to have ended up there. But think about it if you're talking about creating a channel, something that 20 years from now, if that kid's still posting on YouTube and grown up, that will stick with him. I think that's an important thing.
And you can change your channel name. But I would say, like,
it's hard to do.
It's hard to do because people will know you.
It's not hard technically to do, but it's hard to do because you built an audience and sort of done those things. Yeah,
you built an audience, and then people start knowing you as Princess Baby Toys, and then you change your name to, I don't know, like, Blue Rock Games or something. I don't know. You just change your name, and then people will stop knowing, like, won't know who that is when they see it in their subscription feed. And they're like, I don't know who this person is.
So, like, I mean, everyone thinks we're a gaming channel because we have Actoutgames, and so we have to overcome that. But we sort of love that name, and there's a whole backstory behind why we have that name. Yeah, that it means something to us, so we kept it, right?
That's how I became a supervillain.
But it would be different too. Like if we were going back and starting over, we would think about using a different name because it sort of puts it in a game niche, and then people come watch, and you're not a gaming channel, and they get confused by what's going on. We do some, but we're not a gaming channel, certainly. So, look, that's just a survey, right? Yes. So there's a ton of stuff. If you do want to see us make a video from start to finish and see what's going on behind the scenes, then post in the comments and let us know that you want to see that. Yes. And Presley's poking me under the table. Which, if you want to do a YouTube channel like this, you have to have secret languages and signs to know what's going on.
We get this from behind the camera.
Yeah, any time now, Mommy's going to be behind the camera saying you guys need to wrap it up because you're rambling and this video's getting long. Presley's under the table jabbing me because she wants to say something while I'm talking. So you need to develop. That's another thing I'll add to my list. Develop your secret language.
Secret language, yes. And so while we're sort of still on a name thing, there are really, really good username generators out there where you just plug in like a bunch of words, like your favorite animal, your hobbies, your name, and a bunch of stuff, and then you click generate, and it generates like 50 URLs, which are combinations. Like for example, like wolf amethyst or something. It'll do that. Okay. And those are really cool. I've used some of them before for if I'm getting onto something like really crowded and like say actoutgames or something's taken, then I just use that and it's really nice. Right. So
I didn't know about those.
Those are really cool.
That's good advice.
I don't remember the one I used. If I will find, there will be in the description if I can find the one that I use most often. Mm-hmm. But it has like 10 slots, and you just put in like your favorite, like a list of your favorite objects with like separated by commas and stuff like that, and it'll end up generating.
Okay, we'll put a link to one of those in the doobly-doo too, so you can check that out. And well, like I said, if you want us to continue this kind of a series and talking about how we do these things, then let us know, and we'll do that. We'll let us know what you want us to talk about. Yes. We'll go into detail. Maybe we'll have some of our friends who are YouTubers. We can even do a kind of a collab with them and talk about how they do things and kind of carry some stuff
because on. We are most definitely not experts in every type of video.
We're figuring it out as we go along.
So,
we do have a background. Yes. So Mommy went to film school, so she has a film background. I'm an IT guy. I've worked in film too. We did these kinds of things. So we do have some experience generally in what we're doing. Applying it to YouTube is definitely, well, it's not new for us anymore, but it was new when we started
because...
And there are some you learn some lessons as you go through. So we're happy to share that stuff if people want to hear any more about it.
Also, always let your child guide you. They probably know YouTube better than you do. That's
good advice too, right? And the parents, the last thing I'll throw out, like when I did the panel at Vidcon, I had parents of some successful YouTubers that were on the panel that I was moderating, and we were kind of talking about what would you have done differently, and almost all of them said like I would have been more supportive earlier in the process. Mm-hmm. Like looking back on it, I wish we had started earlier and started working together, because you can work as a family, which is my advice. Don't just turn your kid loose and let them have a YouTube channel. Work on it together and do things together, and it'll bring you closer, and you can do all kinds of really amazing things. But take the leap and start posting some videos and just do it. If you're really worried about like security, then do it in a very anonymous way, and I think people will love that.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So let us know if you want us to talk into more detail about specific subjects, and we'll go through. I'd love to kind of shoot one showing us how we make one of our videos. I think people might like to see that. If you'd like to see that, let me know, and we'll make one of those. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah.
If you want to see more, click the little subscribe button over there, right? Down there? Is that where it is?
I said it earlier in the video,
we still haven't checked. Wow. I think it's down there.
Yes.
Yeah, subscribe for more. We definitely love to see people subscribing to the channel and interested in what we're talking about.
Yes.
Otherwise? Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, get us out of here then.
So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!
Bye, guys.